Okay, Boker Tov and Wa'anam Gimel with base, and we're middle of the machlokes about Yuchla Mashor. We're about 10 lines down, so like Tani Rav Tachlifa. Tani Rav Tachlifa, Bar Marava. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we had machlokes when it says that this it gets migufo. So at this point, the Gemara's question, the machlokes was, we're keeping Rabbi Shmuel, if Yuchla Ashor, which there might be some machlokes, but I'll just say simple shot that seems to be at least one shita that Rabbi Kiva holds Yuchla Hashor means automatically it belongs to the nizik. As soon as the nizik happens, as soon as the damage happens, right away it belongs to the nizik. As much as he was damaged, that amount belongs to him of the shor mazik. And according to Rabbi Yishmael, Yusham Ashor, that it's just to be assessed how much the damage is, and that's how much he's owed. But he doesn't have a chelik in the shor. He doesn't own the shor yet. And I think the Gemara is going to say today that by a mother bedin, once the ben paskins that he has to pay him, so then the nizik does get a chelik in the shor. So Mechalkes says Yuchla the Yusham, does the nizik have a chelik in the shor mazik immediately or not? Tani Rav Tachlifa Bar Marava Kamed Rabbi Abo. So Rav Tachlifa Bar Marava said over a brisa to Rabbi Abo. The brisa was
the name, or still in Israel?
Bar Marava. Interesting. Very nice. I don't know. I never thought of that. Bar Marava might mean a Westerner. Bar Marava doesn't. I would imagine not, because then many people live in Eretz Israel, and I wouldn't know why they would call him Bar Marava.
Because maybe he never got smicha even though he lived.
Okay, nice. I don't know. I never thought of it.
Israeli.
Hmm?
Rashi says Meretz Yisrael.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. Meretz Yisrael.
That's what I.
Wow. I didn't know that.
That's what I.
Thank you.
Why is he rough?
Like you said, he didn't get smicha.
He didn't get smicha even though he's from there. So they call him Bar Marava.
Because he's not really in Bava. He's from there.
No, but if he had smicha,
Maybe
he'd call him
then.
Rebbe.
Maybe he never got smicha. Maybe he's from there.
Okay, it's a nice thing to look into. Any other Bama is also then. Mochro, this is the brisa. I'm saying a brisa now. Mochro and Mochro Ekdisha Mokdesh. So just to backtrack a little bit, we had a machlokes Yusham Yuchlat if the nizik the shor mazik as soon as the damage happened or not. Okay, machlokes. So we should say that if the nizik owns it, he's the one who could be makdish it. He's the one who could be sell it. And if you hold the shor does not belong to the nizik, it still belongs to the mazik. So he's the one who could sell it and be makdish it. But the Brisa says something about somebody. It doesn't say who it is. It doesn't say who the one who's selling it, who's the one who says that he cannot sell it. If he sold it, it's not sold. If he's makdish it is hektish, which is self-contradictory. If he's the owner, he can sell it, he can be makdish it. If he's not the owner, he cannot sell it, he cannot be makdish it. That's the Gemara's kasha, but the Gemara is going to say it in a couple of lines. But it's pretty straightforward kasha. What's the difference between selling and hektish? But the Gemara talks step at a time. Machroman, who's the one who's selling it over here and being makdish it? We're talking about the mazik or the nizik. Machroman, who's the one who sold it? Mazik, and on that it says mochro ein mochor. It's going to say that if the mazik sold it, it's not sold. Why is it not sold? Because it belongs to the nizik or the mani rabakivi. Okay, that would make sense if you just say those words. If the mazik sold his shore, it's not sold because it already belongs to the nizik. Okay, but then it says right away hektish and muktish. Then it says that if the mazik was maktish it is a good hektish. Why should that be? If the mazik was maktish it shouldn't be hektish either because it already belongs to the nizik. Then the sefer would only make sense according to Rabbi Shmuel that the mazik still does own his shore, just it has to be assessed how much it's worth, and that's how much that's going to be the ceiling of how much he has to pay to the nizik, but the mazik still owns it. So the ratio can't be Rabbi Akiva, the Machri and Mocher is Rabbi Akiva, Gdish and Moktish is Rabbi Yishmael. That doesn't make sense. Ela nizik. Let's try to say that the nizik is the one who's selling it and being maktish it over here. So Machri and Mocher, if the nizik sold it, it says it's not sold. Why is it not sold? According to Rabbi Kivi, he owns it. He can sell it. It must be Mani Rabbi Shmuel. Then we have to say that the ratio is Rabbi Shmuel who says that the nizik does not own it. That's why he cannot sell it. So how come we could be makdish it? Hekdisha mukdish. That's on Rabbi Kiva. So in short, the kasha is the person who could sell it could be makdish it. The person who cannot be makdish it cannot sell it. Whoever you hold, according to Rabbi Kiva, the nizik is the owner. According to Rabbi Shmuel, the mazik is the owner. So the doesn't seem to make sense. The Gemara answers, L'olam mazik, the Divrei Yaakov. we're saying the case will be that the mazik is the one who's sold it over here, and Divya Kol means it's not Shmuel and Rabbi Akiva. So again, the mazik sold what?
The Nizak never acquired, did not acquire.
According to Rabbi, everybody. Divya Kol,
Right, Divya Kol.
Divya Kol is everybody. That means according to Rabbi Akiva, the nizik owns it.
No.
According to Rabbi Shmuel, the nizik.
How can he sell them?
So let's see the Gemara again. The mazik is the one who's selling in market over here, and everyone can be talking. There's not going to be machlok Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Akiva in this din. Machlok ain't a machlok. The mazik sold it. So what do we hold? What would we think? That mazik, that does the mazik own the shore? According to Rabbi Akiva, it makes sense the mazik doesn't own the shore anymore, belongs to the nizik. That makes sense according to Rabbi Akiva, but it doesn't make sense according to Rabbi Shmuel. My answer is I feel Rabbi Shmuel is also not sold, even though the mazik still owns his shore. So why can't he sell it? Because there's a lien on it that it is sold because it still belongs to the mazik, but the nizik has a right to collect it, and therefore, with the Gemara on the top of the page, that's like a potaki that has a coal, and therefore the nizik would be able to collect it from the one who bought it. The mazik sold it; it was still his shore. But the nizik comes and says, "You should know, Rabbi Yid, Lokeach, you should know that I'm a nizik. He had damaged my shore, and therefore I have a right to collect it, and therefore I'm going to collect it from you." So Rabbi Shmuel also took me to that. According to Rabbi Akiva, when the mazik sells it, he can't sell it at all because it belongs to the nizik. He can't sell somebody else's shore; it belongs to the nizik already. According to Rabbi Shmuel, the sale was a sale, but the nizik still has a right to cash in on it and go tell the Lokeach to give it back to me because I have a lien on it. Usually, there's no lien on the taltalin, but here it is. It's like an apoteki that has a call. Hikdisha muktish, and the continuation of the brisa, the maktish, the mazik was maktish, and we said according to Rabbi Akiva, according to Bishmola makes sense. The mazik can be maktish. The mazik could be maktish according to Rabbi Shmuel because he still owns it, but according to Rabbi Akiva, he shouldn't be able to be maktish because he doesn't own it anymore. And here the Gemara says, "I feel Rabbi Akiva," because even according to Rabbi Akiva, that already belongs to the nizik. If the mazik was maktish, it is hektish. Why? That this is only Rabbanan. You're right, but the Raisa, the mazik cannot be maktish because it already belongs to the nizik. But it doesn't look so good because the mazik, which we know till now was his shore, and he says on this shore that is a razor hektish, and then we're just going to act with it as if it's nothing because it was mazik, and therefore automatically belongs to the nizik. It doesn't look so good. People don't notice halacha. They don't see.
It's just going to take it from hektish.
It is not hektish. They come to the mazik and he takes the shore. People heard him say "Harei hektish," and then they see the nizik taking it and using it like chulin. And what happens? It's a hektish. So they don't know the halacha, or they know the story that it was mazik. Maybe they knew that was mazik. They don't know yuchel ashor, and they saw that the mazik was maktish. So what are you doing? They're going to think that hektish could be.
So even the Rabbi Akiva, he has to.
So people will say this because of a gzera. Gzera shem yom hektish also below pidyon. According to Rabbi Yishmael, it's mamash hektish because the mazik still owns the shore. He has the right to be maktish. It seems. That's what it seems in this Gemara so far. We'll see soon. Pidyon means to redeem hektish. When you maktish something, you cannot use it until it's hektish until you redeem it. And here they're going to see that nobody redeemed it.
Okay. Didn't
redeem it. And really, that should be the din. According to Rabbi Akiva, when the mazik was maktish, the shore that was mazik, and already was yochlat to the nizik. The nizik is a new owner, even though nothing happened. Even though they didn't give it over. As soon as
he didn't have the right.
he didn't have a right, he has no right to be maktish. Then hektish is really not hektish, but it's not going to look good. The people will see that he was maktish, and then they're considering it chulin. So they tell him to be poded. I think that I think they make only have to pay something. Have to be poded something with a pruta of a pruta that it should see some kind of hektish. I think they don't have to give the value of the pidyon. I think we didn't talk about that, but it's such a thing. Why?
Put down somewhere.
That you just the frisk gzeir is enough to be poded even on the shavuot pruta.
What they
get it out of hektish, you just have to be poded with a shavuot pruta.
In regular.
Usually, you have to be poded something for the value that it is.
And pay a fee.
And hektish is different.
But over here, talking about hektish. Usually, when you pod hektish, you have to be poded for the value that it's worth. But over here, that's not really hektish. It's only gzeira. People shouldn't talk. So it's enough to make some kind of opinion, even on the shavuot pruta.
I think the gzeira is that we keep it hektish.
we consider it hektish. So to consider hektish, what do? What do you do with hektish? What does hektish do with tables? Someone's maktish a table. What do you do
Oh,
with
I
it?
see.
Or
I
a
see.
shore.
I
Okay,
see.
he had a shore. But what do you do with it? So you pulled it.
Oh, I see. In this case.
So you
it
pulled
would
it.
Be lenient, but
That it is not to be pulled with the shavar fruit. You don't have to give the whole
literally
value.
you wouldn't have to do anything, but just because it's sexual.
Yeah.
So we have either because of a gazera for every kilo.
That's why he has to
The
be,
other side was that it was a shibud.
and that's why even though he
Like
was
sale.
sold, and it was a good sale, according to Rabbi Shmuel, it was a good sale. When the mazik sells it, sure, it's a good sale because the nizik doesn't own it, but he has a right to go and cash in on it. To tell the look that there was mazik and therefore it's to me.
Here it is. We don't.
Right.
Rashi says, the master Mukdosh. I'm saying that Ishmael, so the same, like Ishmael. And you came out by opinion. What's that?
Tav Kodesh, Mama Shabalita, never been more to Kitano. Thank you. That you just have to pay something that even a Shabbat Puta, that people shouldn't think that it goes for the hektish went out to Hulin without doing anything. So you have to be told it that people should not talk.
And of course, then it belongs to the Nizak.
According to Bishmo,
Right.
according to Kiva belongs to the Nizak, right? True. Tana Rabbanan, see there's long bryce over here. It goes very long till the two dots, about 20 lines. And then the Gemara is gonna explain it. Tana Rabbanan.
Such a long list.
Here we have Shotam Shizik. It's going to talk about Shotam Shizik. That's going to talk about a more Shizik, just to map it out. Shotam Shizik. So there's going to be Achal Omad Bedin, then there's going to be Mishamad Bedin. And just to say one shot, there might be other pshatim in the Rishonim, but to take one shot at the price, you're going to Rabbi Shmuel, which we don't pass like we pass like Rabbi Kiva that Yuchla Lashor. But according to Rabbi Shmuel, that it still belongs to the Mazik. Shotam Shizik. The Machlok is of Yisham and Yuchlan is only by a short time. By more, there's nothing to talk about. The more doesn't go to the Nizik at all. Just the money has to be paid. Short time Shizik. Ad Shalom Bedin. Before the Din Torah. From the Hezek until the Din Torah. Mochor, Ekdisha Mukdash, Shachta V'Nasla B'Matana, Masha Asa Asri. So the Mazik is, according to Bishmol, the Mazik still owns it. So it's very nice that if he sells it, it's sold. Of course, we said that Mochor, the Mazik could sell it according to Bishmol. But Nizik could come and take it away because he has a shibud. But the sale is a good sale. The hektish is a good hektish because it belongs to the mazik. If he shachted it, gave it for a present, so whatever he did is done, which means that it doesn't go anymore to the nizik. That's what the word seems to say. If he gave it away as a matana, let's just skip the word shachter for a second. If he sold it, it's sold. If he's maktish, it's maktish. If he gave it for a present, it's a present because the mazik owns it. And even though the nizik has a shibu to get it, but it's sold, it's muktash, and it's a present. It also says about shachter. If he shachted it, and that seems to say that if he shachted it, it doesn't go to the nizik anymore. That needs explanation, maybe. If that's true, the mazik.
The Pashas would sound that the Nizik doesn't get it.
And why shouldn't he get it? That's because the mazik shechted it.
Because the Gufay.
Why doesn't he take the shore? That'll be a question.
Because it's a dead shore. It's a shaft dead shore. You might want to use it for pulling his all or
So
something.
he doesn't say he can't
He
get
might
it.
have a different reason that he wanted that cow.
Who?
The Nizak.
Then it's what he wants.
Why
Doesn't want.
he should have
He's
the
not gonna
choice
get-
to do what he wants with that.
He's not going to get. He should not have shechted it, maybe, but
Yeah.
he's not. But now that it's shechted, he's not going to get it anymore. So he doesn't get anything
So he's with money.
No, he's not gonna get any
Why is he not going to get paid?
because he only pays me gufo. A shortam only pays me
Value of
gufo.
Gufa, but doesn't he have to pay anyway? I mean, he's still not.
So it seems the Gemara is going to say.
Still
So
has to pay.
according to Rabbi Kiva, he wouldn't
Surely.
have asked that because according to Rabbi Kiva, it belongs to the nizik, and now he shechted my shore. The mazik shechted the nizik shore, so he get his money for whatever he damaged my shore. But according to Rabbi Shmuel, that's the question now. What does Megufo mean? Does Megufo mean that he only has
Has
a
to pay.
So you're saying what your opinion is according to Rabbi Shmuel that it's just the value of Megufo, but he owes the money. And according to that, you would say that what Masha Asasi, but the Masha Asasi seems that he accomplished something. That it seems to say that the Mazik accomplished taking something away from the Nizik. And you're saying no, so we have to see the Gemara. You're saying that he shouldn't have accomplished anything because he should have to pay the values. So let's see. All this was talking about that the mazik did all these things before the Amad B'Din. But Misha Amad B'Din, after that the Din Torah, they said that the mazik is chayiv. So now, if the mazik would sell it, it's not sold. It seems to say that even the contract of Shmuel, we're saying that goes according to Shmuel, but even the contract of Shmuel, once there was a mother B'Din, then it does belong to the Nizik. So that shed some light on what we said yesterday. There's Yusham and Yuchla, but even according to Rabbi Shmuel, it's only Yusham. It's only doesn't belong to the Nizik until the Din Torah. Once the Din Torah said that the Mazik, this is a short time, if there's damage, is chayiv to pay. So automatically by the Din Torah, when the Dayan says that, then the shore belongs to the Nizik now, even before he takes it home. And if the Mazik is going to sell it, it's not sold because it already belongs to the Nizik. Can't sell it anymore. And it's lucky.
Already cost.
Yes, and therefore now it transfers rishus to the Nizik. Hekdisha is now muktish. The Mazik Maktish belongs to the Nizik already. And if he shechted it, he didn't take it away from the Nizik, and now he shechted the Nizik shore. He has to pay for it. The son of a matana also doesn't go. Everything goes to the Nizik. It belongs to the Nizik 100%. Kadmo bali chobas big B who? If the people they are he didn't do anything, he didn't accomplish anything, it belongs to the Nizik. And he owes the sale is not a sale, hektish is not a hektish, the present is not a present, and the shechting didn't take it away from the Nizik. He has to give it to the Nizik. He might have to give the Nizik the value of the shore before the shechted, because it's my shore, he shechted my shore. Kadmu bali chobas big view. The Nizik, who's this? The Mazik had the creditors, people he owed money, he owed money, he owed people money. And they came and they took the shore for payment for their debt. The creditors cannot take the shore. Is that what it says? No difference if the debt was before the hezek or the hezek was before the debt. The creditors cannot take the creditors of the mazik cannot take the shore for their debt because the nizik is only paid from the guf of the mazik and therefore goes to him. So it seems to say that this is a very strong lean on the mazik, the nizik, that even though Rabbi Shmuel said Yusham Ashor, but he has a right to get it even if there are earlier creditors, which the Gemara is going to talk about each line over here. All this was about a tam. And that was why it got a little complicated, because who owns the shore? By a shore time that pays me gufo, there's a question about Yuchlat and Yusham. So the Gemara was going, there's a difference before a mother within, after mother within. After mother within, it belongs to the nizik. But now, in contrast, the muad, it doesn't have anything to do with the shore mazik. The muad doesn't have anything to do with the migufo of the mazik, and it's a chov that the mazik has to pay now, but it has nothing to do with the shore. More chizik, ben shamad b'din, ben shalom b'din. It doesn't belong to the nizik; it belongs to the mazik, and the mazik has to pay. So therefore, mochro gdisha muktash shechato and asana b'matana masha asa asoi. That belongs to the mazik 100%. Therefore, there's no difference before the mother b'din, after the mother b'din. If he sold it, it's sold. If he's maktish, it's maktish. If he gave it as a present, it's a present. If he shechted it, what here doesn't mean. I don't know what it means. Masha asa asoi. If it's shechted, it's shechted. He surely doesn't take it. Doesn't the nizik doesn't lose his chov. I'm not getting clear the words when it says shechato masha asa. It doesn't mean that he accomplished taking it away from the nizik. Here he surely didn't. It's a good shechita. Of course, it's a good shechita. What does all shechita have to do with mazik and nizik? I don't get the words over here. I can put the word shachato in parentheses, so it says that it's a sale, it's a hektish, it's a present.
Why is there leniency by the Yomor that if he sells it?
It's not leniency. It just says there's nothing to do with the shore. The shore is not in the picture. The shore is like everything.
No, don't have to kill the shore.
That's only if you kill the person. That's not the point. The question is if the shore belongs to the nizik in any way. The shore doesn't belong to the nizik. The shore belongs to the mazik, and he has to pay. But it doesn't have anything. Nothing stops him from selling it and being maktish it. So I just look at the words of shchato. Masha asa asa. What does that mean? Shchato masha asa asa. Of course, it's shechted. The question is who gets it. So it has nothing to do with the nizik getting it. He has to get. He's owed as much money as he was damaged.
I think this would be parallel to the previous brisa.
In contrast to the previous brisa,
it doesn't say anything, but it's just the same, using the same lashon.
Uh-huh. And but here it wouldn't be true. Masha asa asa. I mean, the words to say that what he did, he did. What he did, of course, he shechted it. What does it mean that? Hmm.
I mean, that's one
It
word.
doesn't change,
Shloter and Sarah.
anything.
No.
It doesn't change anything financially. It's his, so he
But
checked it.
it's his, and he shechted it. Okay, it's his and he shechted it, and it doesn't have ramifications. Before, when it said Masha asa asa, Masha asa lo asa, that means does the nizik lose? Does the nizik lose it now? But here he's saying it doesn't mean that. The words are not going to mean the same thing as it meant before. The Gemara is
This
going
is
to talk
me.
about shchata alone, not shchata and son of matan, shchata son. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Try some more. But the idea I get it. In general, I get the idea that by the muad, there's no ramifications on the shore. The shore doesn't get transferred to the nizik in any way. It's like all the other rest property of the mazik. He has to pay for the damages that he did. But by the time it talks about that after the mother bedin, it'll belong to the nizik. And before that, that was a Rishmal talking over here that it does not belong to the nizik yet. And it continues in the Brisa. Kodmu balichobas bigbil ben chavat shel hizik ben hizik ad shalochav masha asa asui lefishem b'shtalim elam and aliyah. That if the balchov of the mazik takes the shore, it also doesn't affect the nizik in any way because the nizik has nothing to do with the shore. It has nothing to do with the shore specifically. It doesn't have any more rights to the shore because the payment of the muad has been aliyah, not from the shore. So the nizik has no connection to the shore at all. So if the aliyah means everything else that we said in we said at the end of the first paragraph, it means from the best. The point is, he gets from his pocket. It has nothing to do with the shore. The shore is not.
Want to get a shore more,
Yeah, that's not the point. The point is that there's no shibud on the shore to the nizik. The mazik owes the nizik money and nothing to do with the shore. So that was the whole brisa from 2 dots to 2 dots. Now the Gemara is going to analyze it. Omamar. So again, we'd like to say the brisa goes according to Rabbi Shmuel that doesn't belong to the nizik till after the mother b'din. Omamar mochor. That's what the brisa says mochor, and that the Gemara explains the That means that the sale is temporarily good. That the ridya means plowing. That the one who bought it is allowed to plow with it, but when the nizik comes to collect it, he's allowed to collect it. As we said before, on top of the page, mochor eno mochor, that mochor only temporarily, but eno mochor means because the shibud of the nizik does allow him to collect it, even though he didn't own it yet. Doesn't belong to the nizik, and the mazik sale was a good sale, but the nizik still has a strong shibud, and he's allowed to take it away from like an apoteki that has a coal.
It's not political.
When you make that shibud could be taken, that the loan could be paid back, then the debt could be paid back from this thing, even though it's metaltalim, and usually that doesn't make a hold on it on other things besides an eved, but on things that have a coal, it does make a hold, and therefore an eved, and also a shor mazik that has a coal that was mazik. So if somebody bought it, if somebody took it as it doesn't hold back the balchol from coming to take it.
I mean,
He's not taking back.
it automatically has that on it, or something that you do.
But usually you make an apoteki when you want to make an apoteki. But here
Diamond ring.
I make this. The payment's going to be from this day. So there's a bit of an apoteki, and no one knows about it. So therefore, it doesn't. If someone bought it, you can't take it away from him. Apoteki usually does not work on a diamond ring or on a shore because no one hears about it. Only on an eved because people hear about it. And here the Gemara is on top of the page.
Yeah.
Yesterday's Gemara that by Masha and Nakon also people hear about it, and therefore it is a call. People should know.
Worry about just because the mice.
Right, and people shouldn't buy it. You want to buy a shore, you don't buy that shore. Everyone knows that shore damaged, and therefore you shouldn't. It's on deck to be paid to the nizik. So don't buy it. And if you buy it, it's at your own risk. As long as you use it, you could use it. But when he's going to come, he's going to have the right to take it back. And that's what it says, mocho temporarily for the ridya until the nizik comes to collect it. The next words were Akdisha Mukdash, and again we're saying. This is Rabbi Shmuel. This is a little difficult. There's a little hurdle over here. It says Ekdisha Mukdash, the Nizik was Maktashit, the Mazik was Maktashit, and it says that it's Hektish. And we would say, according to Rabbi Shmuel, of course, because the Mazik still owns it, and therefore he's allowed to be Maktashit. But the Gemara says, Mishum de Rabbi Abo. Only because of Rabbi Abo. Rabbi Abo, what we said a couple of lines ago, before we said in according to Rabbi Kiva. According to Rabbi Kiva, we said that even though it's Yuchla Rashah, belongs to the Nizik, if the Mazik was Maktashit, really it's not Hektish because he doesn't own it. But because of Rabbi Abo, it shouldn't look bad. People shouldn't say Hektish Yosef below Pidyon. So we said that you have to be paid with something. But here the Gemara is difficult because here the Gemara says even according to Rabbi Shmuel, when the Mazik is Maktashit, it's Hektish because of Rabbi Abo, which is not simple. The Gemara should say it's Hektish B'Mamish because it still belongs to the Mazik. right? According to Rabbi Shmuel, it doesn't belong to the nizik; it belongs to the mazik. So if the mazik was makdash, it should be hektish mamish. Why does the Gemara say only because of Rabbi Avo? So who answers? Rashi asked the kasha over here. For somebody? Tosfos asked the kasha over here, and he's
So you shouldn't have to go with the Rabbi above.
right. It should be hektish mamish.
Really is it.
Yeah, because the mazik owns it. So Tosfos says, "Ava b'lo Avo lo kodesh mishum de kedushas damim en mafkas midei shibud umari yocha bebalmum." So Tosfos is answering the kasha. To answer the kasha, he says that that there's a shibud on this shore, and the shibud of the nizik. Again, the mazik was maktashit. What am I saying? Lower bavo, it wouldn't be hektish when the mazik is maktashit. It shouldn't be because there's a shibud on it. Kedushas dama meim nafkas midei shibud means that the shibud of the nizik, even though it doesn't own, the nizik doesn't own it. Rabbi Shmuel, the nizik does not own it, but he does have a shibud on it. And the heck, somebody being maktashit should not take away the shibud. So the Tosfos is answering a kasha that usually hektish overrides the shibud. Usually it says hektish mosi midei chametz hektish shechu mosi midei shibud. So even though there was a shibud on this ox, the shibud of the nizik, but if it's makdash, it should be hektish. If the mazik owns the shore, not like a kiva, the mazik owns the shore, and the nizik has a shibud on it. When the mazik is makdash, so it should become hektish. So because there's a din hektish mosi midei shibud. So Tosfos says a teretz that hektish mosi midei shibud is only when it's kedushas haguf, only like you make a korban out of it, that you make the thing itself to become hektish. But kedushas damim, that's only bedek habayis or a balmum, like it says over here. Tosfos says, I'll say a teretz that it's talking about a balmum. And when he's makdash, it's not going to become a korban; it's only going to become bedek habayis, and therefore that kind of hektish is not mosi midei shibud. So the hektish of the mazik is not going to take off. It's not going to take because it has a shibud to the nizik.
What's the mifkas?
Mafkas is to break through. It break off. It breaks off shibud. If someone it doesn't break the shibud.
When it's something that that's not like a korban,
right?
Then it doesn't. The shibud won't get
broken, and therefore the nizik is allowed to come to take it, and he says hektish says, but he was maktashit. Yes, but he wasn't maktashit kedushas hamizbeach. If he would have made a korban out of it, then it was my shibud. But if he only makes kedushas damim, Tosfos wants to say chiddush that it doesn't take off the shibud, and therefore the nizik could come and take it and say, I have a shibud on it. So his hektish wasn't a good hektish, even though he owned it, but I had a shibud on it. So the hektish that he did doesn't break my shibud. And Tosfos says right away that this is not simple, that Rabbeinu Tam argues on that. Rabbeinu Tam says, Kol kedushas v'kosha, we count Rabbeinu Tam, the shemafarish the b'chol kedushas without the mafkas midei shibud, afilu kedushas damim. So Tosfos is getting involved. There's a problem over here. In order to answer our Gemara, Tosfos wanted to argue on Rabbeinu Tam and say kedushas damim does not take off a shibud, and that's why the Gemara had to say that even according to Rabbi Shmuel, you have to say the reason why it's hektish is because of Rabbi Avo. That's the answer to these two lines.
And then you would go there with just a little bit. So.
No, according to this, according to Rabbi Kiva will be, but according to Rabbi Shmuel, what are we saying? That it was really hektish. It was really hektish, but it wasn't hektish because there was a shibud on it. I guess you're right. That even according to only give us opinion on a little something to get off the hektish, because the hektish is chal.
Because it does hektish.
Because the hektish was not chal. I'm not saying well. The hektish was not chal because there's a shibud on it. So really, man, I think the hektish was not chal, but according to because of Rabbi Avo, give something for the opinion that it shouldn't look bad. The Brisa continued. Since it belongs to the mazik, so if he gave it for a present, it's a good present. If he sold it, it's sold. If he makdash it, it's makdash it. If he gave it for a present, it's a good present because it belongs to the mazik. But it also says something about shchata, that if the mazik shechted it, he accomplished. What does it mean he accomplished? He accomplished when taking it away from the nizik. The shore mazik was supposed to be given to the nizik, but it didn't own it yet, like Rabbi Shmuel, not yuchla yusham. It still belongs to the mazik, and he shechted it, so he accomplished. What did he accomplish? Of course, he shechted it. It means that it's taken away from the nizik. And the question is, why? Why is it taken away from the nizik? We understand when it says that the present accomplished, that means that it's a good present because the mazik still owns it. Of course, the nizik could come and say that my shibud, I'm going to take it away from you. But as long as you didn't take it away, the recipient of the present owns it. But how come when he shechted it, the nizik loses? Why should the nizik lose? Let him take the meat. Means the shor is supposed to be paid to the nizik. It still belongs to the mazik, but it's supposed to be paid to the nizik. And the mazik shechted his shor. So now the nizik doesn't get it anymore. Let him get the meat. The migufa, what is the Gemara saying that according to Bishmal it's limited to migufa, but migufa is not only the live shor, it's also the dead shor. So let him take the meat as a payment, as much as is left. Even if he won't get his whole payment, maybe there's enough in the meat also to get his whole payment. But why should he lose out? It sounds like once the mazik shechted it, so now the nizik doesn't get anything. Why doesn't he get anything? He gets migufa. So either the live shor or the dead shor. You might think not. The Brisa has to say that the nizik can get even the dead shor. The Tanya, it says machu es hashor when the pasuk talks about taking the mazik megufa, it says they should sell the live shor. So you might think only if it's a live shor. How do you know that even if it's shechted, also has a right to get that shor? Since it says it in the way the wording of the pasuk does talking about selling the shor, it doesn't say right away the live shor. It says the shor that is live shor chai. So they can reach from that even as that shechted shor, and that's what the Brisa says, that the nizik has a right to get even the shechted shor. So why by shechting the shor does the nizik lose out? Amar Rav's first white line. Amar Rav Shizvi. You're right. He does get meat, but you might think that he can tell the mazik, pay me for the value that the shor was when it was alive. How come I'm only getting the meat? I want to get.
Yeah,
even,
that's the problem.
It doesn't make it easy to want it. The question is if he has a right to it still. He shouldn't have shechted it, but he did shecht it. So now does the nizik lose out? He had a debt that was the value of the live shor. Not the debt, the nizik was the value of the live shor. Now they shechted it's not worth so much anymore, and he doesn't get that from the mazik. The mazik did accomplish that he took away the value of the live shor. He doesn't have to pay for that live shor. According to Rabbi Akiva, let's say that it belongs to the nizik, and the mazik shechted the nizik shor. So he says, "Pay me for my shor." He shechted my shor. You got to pay me the whole value. But according to Rabbi Shmuel, he doesn't. It belongs to the mazik, and the nizik does take the meat, but he can't demand of the mazik the value of the difference between the live shor and the dead shor. And the yes,
Here means the difference of
the devaluation past. So it went down. Pachas less
valuation
of the shechita. How much the shechita made it worth less?
That's you know that
He only gets the shechted meat. He doesn't get how much it became worth less, because it didn't belong to the nizik. If it belonged to the nizik, then he gets to pay me for you killed my shor. So pay me
that which it got worth less.
Right. He takes the meat. He takes the meat, but he can't say give me how much it was worth before. And is there a chiddush in that? According to Rabbi Akiva, he would get the money because he killed my shor. According to Rabbi Shmuel, you don't get the money, but the Gemara sees a chiddush in that also. There was a shibud. There was a shibud on this. The nizik had a right to get this whole shor, the live shor, and now the mazik killed it. The mazik or somebody else, whoever it might be, they killed the shor. So now I don't have as much to collect from. So is that a claim? Can he go to Bezdin and say, I had a shibud on this shor, and he took away my shibud? He caused my shibud to be taken away. Can I demand him the money? You see, if somebody has a shibud on something, he didn't own it. He only has a shibud on it, and somebody destroyed it or devalued it. So I can't demand from him. It might be called like a groma. I only cause you shouldn't be able to collect, but I didn't take away your thing. If I'm asking your thing, I have to pay for the damage. It was your thing, and I damaged it. I devalued it. But if you had a shibud, you had a chance to get something, and I took away, I made it worth less, which you must give a couple of examples. So then you put it because you didn't. It's only like a groma. It's only like indirect loss that you cause him that you cannot collect anymore. But
including the carcass, including the
carcass he gets that he takes. Why shouldn't
that he can't get?
Why shouldn't he get it? Why shouldn't he take it? But how much that he caused to lose by the fact that now it's not a live show anymore, that he can't collect because a mazik shibudah shachavera is. But if somebody damages a shibud that someone's supposed to get, then he doesn't have to pay for that. And the Gemara is going to give some examples that might be very surprising. Pshita. The Gemara says Pshita on this. So Rashi says Pshita doesn't mean that it's Pashut. That concept is not Pashut. But it's Pashut that you could derive that from our story. If you see in our story that you don't have to pay for the evaluation of the shore from being a live shore to a dead shore. So you see, why did Rav Huna ben Yeshua have to point it out to us? We surely would have realized it. That's called the Masik Shibud Shachaver. The Nizik had a shibud to be able to collect the live shore, and now he killed it. And I'm not allowed to collect. You can't collect from that. Don't you see? It's obvious that you see that from the brisa. Why did Rav Huna ben Yeshua have to say that we see Hamasik Shibud Shachaver is potter? The Moshe Pshita that you would see that. The Mayan says you might not see it. Now the time also Amalei Lo Chasatich Lo Midi. Amalei Zikr Ba'alma Hudu Shachli Minach. You might say that by killing the shore, he says, I didn't do anything. What did I do? I killed the shore. I just took away his neshama. I just took away its breath. Now it sounds funny. What do you mean? You killed the shore. Zika means wind. What did I cause you a loss? I just took away the wind. So Chamda was laughing. L'chara is very laughable. Of course, he killed it. What does it mean to say took away the wind? The Gemara is saying in poetic terms that the material is here. All the pieces are here. And the Gemara is going to give other examples, maybe of saying that the pieces are that let's look at the physical. And maybe the shibud, maybe the reason why you put it over here is not because Masik Shibud Shachaber. The Gemara is going to say Ba'alma, Ba'alma L'chai. Other cases, but the Gemara is going to talk about if there was a field that was a good field, and somebody came and he brought a bulldozer and he made all kinds of holes and he made a wreck out of it. So over there, that the physicality was changed. Over there, it could be that you do have to. Since it was a physical change, over there you might have to pay for the Masik Shibud Shachaber because it's more physical. But over here, it's not called the physical change. Even though, of course, the live and dead is very different, even physically. No, it's called spiritual. It means it's missing the life. The life force is out. But as far as the physicality, all the pieces are there. You might think that that's the only time that you see a potter. But if, really physically, Masik Shibud Shachaber, you might have thought that Yechayev. So when the Beit Yeshua wanted to point out, don't say this lumdus, and you could derive from here that a Masik Shibud Shachaber is potter, even if he would have physically made changes.
If you get to
you might think that only over here he doesn't have to pay because he took away the wind. But in other cases, other cases you'd say that this you do derive from here that a Masik Shibud Shachaber is potter, even if he did make physical damage, not only spiritual damage.
You wouldn't say that with a kli, would you?
What do you mean?
You have a kli, and now you see it's a broken piece. All the pieces are there.
Maybe that's called a physical change. But in the taking away the life is
even like the ground. All the ground is there,
right.
Now they're whole.
Right.
I see
Maybe.
Okay.
It's more still bother.
Joseph, this seemed that he did a kosher shchita and
If he didn't do a kosher shchita, he didn't do a kosher shchita.
then
Then it's worth less. But it's still
what he did.
here's the piece. Here's the pieces. It's not a question if he wants. It's not. We're not talking the language he wants or doesn't want. We want to talk about what does he have a right to? What can he come to claim in the bedroom? We don't talk about what he would have liked. We talk about what does he get. So this show was coming to you, but I damaged it. So here are the pieces. So you say, but you stole my thing. I didn't know. It's not yours. If it would have been yours and I damaged your thing, of course I got to pay. But it wasn't yours. It was mine. But you had a shibud on it. So that's potter because it's called the Gemara. And the Gemara says there's a chiddush that not only when you just take away the wind and all the pieces are there, take away the life, even if you would have also damaged physically the shibud, also you have no right to demand money for it. Masik shibud shachaber is potter. Maybe we'll highlight this concept. Masik shibud shachaber is potter. I'm not sure if we pass like that. It sounds a little bit like
it's not a serious downgrade of the original.
Yeah, for sure. The money could be a lot of very big difference in the money, but it's called the groma of something probably because I only indirectly caused you to lose, but I didn't damage your thing. I just caused you shouldn't be able to get what's coming to you, but not that I damaged your thing. The Gemara is going to say a big chiddush. I think you're going to get more excited soon. Hanami Rabba Amra. We know also from a different source that the Mazik Shibud Shachaber is potter, and the Rashi, even though Rabba is an Amora, Rashi says that the Gemara asks from it as if it's a given and as if it's a Mishnah. And therefore, the kasha was that Rav Huna ben Yeshua didn't have to derive a Mazik Shibud Shachaber is potter because Rabba said so already. What does Rabba say? Dama Rabba Hasorev Shtavosav Shachaber potter. That's actually it's hard for us to swallow this. If somebody burnt somebody else's check, somebody had a check that's worth $1 million, and he burnt it, so he's potter because it's only called the shibud. It's not called money. It's not called money. So it's only indirect. I caused you not to be able to cash in. You couldn't go to the bank. You wouldn't be able to, like someone owes you money. You have a star. A check sounds a little bit more aggressive, but someone had a contract, you note, and he burned it. Somebody else burned it. So he says, you made me lose $100 million. He says, what did I do? I didn't. You didn't have $1 million. Someone owed you $1 million, and I caused you shouldn't be able to collect it. So that's only a grandma. But the other because I didn't burn your actual thing. If you had a piece of gold and I crashed it,
Sounds like Southern American type of.
I told you. I said you're going to be.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean,
So this is another case of a mazik shibuda shachavera. So this is the same concept. Asav shivashav shachavera is pater because I just indirectly caused you shouldn't be able to get what's coming to you, but I didn't take away yours. So you see, so you see that why did Rav Yeshua have to derive from us? Why didn't he see it from the statement of Rabbah that said if somebody burns somebody else's check, he's pater? You might think that the case of burning a check is also not so physical. It's also a bit, only pay for the physical part. He could say, I only burned from you a piece of paper. It means physically it's a piece of paper. So I'll pay for the 3 agorot. But how much is worth $1 million? That part is only spiritual that's why he's put there, because it's similar, you can say similar to the life. I took away the life force, I took away the life of the check, that is $1 million. But all the physical part, that's all here. Well, I'll pay you for that. I'll pay you for that amount, those few pennies. But in the case where you actually made a physical damage, is the case of the classical case of digging holes in somebody's field. Maybe over there that was a physical change. Maybe it's chayiv, even though it's only a shibud. Kamash malan, that the case of shechting a shore is called pater also, and that's worse. That not Gemara is giving in that it's worse than just taking away the life and making a bubble, a hole, and that the balloon is gonna let out all the air. It is worse. It's considered that he actually damaged the shore. Because here, when he does kill the shore, so it is considered that he made physical damage in it, and you see that he's pater. So too, by making holes in this other, also he's pater. So all this we can put in parentheses. It's very important, but all this was a side point that if anybody ever learned out about source the until yeah.
Is this part of the same right there? This is a different thing.
The brisa was between the 2 dots and the 2 dots, and then the Gemara is analyzing it, and the Gemara explained each thing step by step. When the Gemara came to the point about shechto, that it says that he accomplished means he doesn't have to give the live show. He only shechted it, and it says take the meat, and he doesn't have to pay for the difference between the live show and the dead show. He did it one on a tangent to say Hamazik Shibuda Shachaber is pater, and we thought that it was. And Rabbi also says the same case, and the Gemara gives 3 examples more or less of Mazik Shibuda Shachavera. One is going to be maybe considered the most chomer case is Chofa Babo Shichan Amoros. That case is also going to be a case of Mazik Shibuda Shachavera, and that seems to be the biggest chiddush that you put even over there. One case is where Mazik you burn somebody's check. Another case is where you shechted somebody's shore that's meshubah to him to get payment for the nezek, but now he's not going to get the live shore, he's only going to get a dead shore, and he ruined his shibud. And the most chamor case is that he made the actual holes in somebody's field that's meshubah to him, and also in all these cases we say hamazik shibuda shechaveri is pater.
The shichin is the digging, or what is?
There's some kind of a bore, shiach, more different kinds of shapes.
Shichin is a
type of a bore, a trench, a pit. I don't know the different words.
Why is this in parentheses? This whole
because it's a side point that you see hamazik shibuda shechaveri is pater. Okay, then the brisa continued. So the brisa said that again.
It's quoting from above, right?
Yes, it's all quoting from above. That what happened again? The mazik had creditors that wanted to take the shore, and it damaged. This shore is the shore mazik, and the nizik has a right to collect it for his damages. So it says he gets it, and even if there are creditors that came and collected the shore for their debt, he's allowed. The nizik is allowed to get it. Here the Gemara we say that even according to Bishmol that says Yishum shore, but also he does have a right to get the goof of the shore, and therefore it's more of a lien than anybody else has. And even if there are balichovas, and it has no difference if the chov was before the hezek or after the hezek. Even if the chov was before the hezek, still the nizik comes and takes the shore, even though the balchov was first and collected it. Still the nizik is allowed to get the shore, and that's what and the bottom line is the kasha. I understand that if the damage happened before the mazik borrowed money, so then the shibud of the nizik is before the shibud of the balchov, and therefore they have the right to get it first. But if the loan happened first, the mazik borrowed money, and then the shore was mazik. So how come the nizik has the right to get the shore? The balchov was first. He should be able to get the first grabs from any property that the mazik owns, that his loba owns. The mazik is also a loba. He's a loba, then he became a mazik. So how come the nizik has the right to get the shore? The loba shibud was first, and the Gemara continues on top of the page. Filu. Even if the hezek happens first before the loan, but the balchov is first. So the words are very hard, but doesn't mean balchov was first. We said that the hezek was first. Even if the hezek was first, the balchov was first. So the word Rashi says the words mean that the balchov came first. We said that the that the balchov came. Rashi says balchov kadem letvisa. Balchov is the one who grabbed first. So even if the hezek happened first, but he didn't take the shore. And then the Bazik borrowed money, and it says here that the nizik is allowed to get it. Is that so simple? When somebody has two creditors and the second creditor comes to collect, is there truth that the first creditor has rights first? If you talk about the karka as one issue, that's true. By karka, the first one has the earlier shibud, but by metaltalim, is that true? There was a loan happening, everything would be without karka, only metaltalim, and there was a loan in January, a loan, okay, whatever, Nissan, and a loan in Iyar.
With the same metaltalim.
And then he only has a little metaltalim. There's the metaltalim, whatever he has. They go to collect, and the second one grabs the one who borrowed in Iyar. Then the one who comes in CD says, I lent him first. I should get it. So it's not so simple. Is it true that the earlier one can get? See, according to what you're saying, you're getting involved in machlokes. Rashi says it's machlokes in ksubis. Are you coming taking sides and saying that if a later malva, a later creditor that collected first before the earlier creditor, are you going to say it goes back to the first creditor, which is not so simple? So either way, the Gemara is not happy. How come the nizik has a right to get the shore? The shore shouldn't be any different than any metaltalim. Any metaltalim, the halach is that if whoever comes to get it, gets it. And nobody could say, I was here first. So how come over here, the nizik is allowed to take it away from the one who collected first? So the Gemara says on the third line, lo, so not getting involved in all of this. By nizik, it's different. He could tell them, Alva, even if it would have been by you, would I not have collected it from you? Because this ox that damaged me from it, I'm going to get paid. So what is the answer? The question again, according to Bishmol, the shore doesn't belong to the nizik; it belongs to the mazik. He only has a shibud on it. And now other creditors of the mazik came and took the shore. The nizik is allowed to come and take it from them, even if the chol was first. Why? Because this shore damaged me. From it, I'm going to get paid. So I think that the point is to say that even if it would have been by you, does Rashi say anything? This shore damaged me. I'll try. Tell me if it's right. That this shore damaged me, and therefore I'm allowed to collect from it. And even if it would have been by you, and this shore would have damaged me, I'd be allowed to take it. Then the Balchov L'chor might say, but if it would have been by me, it wouldn't have damaged you. That's not a taina.
The shoe of taking the money here because it's damaged. You're saying you would have washed it that it wouldn't damage. That doesn't make a difference who owns it.
The mazik owns it.
Shoe on it. So let's say you even own it, but it damaged me.
It damaged.
I think if I would have known, I would have washed it and then I would.
There's going to be a sugi later on. Later on, Prakim is going to talk about that if you who has to watch it. According to Rabbi Kiva, it could be that the nizik has to watch it. According to Rabbi Shmuel, the mazik has to watch it. But what he's saying that the balchov had a shibud on it.
even if it would have been yours and been Nazik me.
It's not a reason why I should lose it. Makes sense. It's good. Just to sum it up, I'll say it again for myself. If everybody wants to listen, I don't get it well. But what are we talking about? That there's a shore that somebody had. He had borrowed money. Let's say the most extreme case, he borrowed money, and the Mal was hoping to collect money from him, from his shore, if he need to. Then the shore is mazik. And then the Balchov came and collected the shore. And then the Nizik comes and knocks on the door and says, I want the shore because it was mazik me. So he says, but I lent him money and I took it. So he says, yes, but it was mazik me before you took it.
It was after.
Before you took it. If it was after, so then the mazik owns it, and then your shore was mazik me. But it was not your shore, it was his shore. And you wanted to collect it. But it was mazik me, and I have a right to collect from the shore mazik. So the fact that there's a earlier shibud is not the subject. It was mazik, and I have a right to collect it. It didn't soak in yet, but if everybody's happy, we'll continue. New brisa. The beginning of the brisa is not going to be so relevant, but the end of the brisa is going to come back to the subject about Yusha Masha Yuchla Ashor. Does it belong to the Nizik right away? So far, we had Machlokas and all the ramifications, and I have written down we pass like a Bakiva Yuchla Ashor that automatically L'chora. I mean, the way we learned the Gemara right away, as soon as it has a capital, belongs to the Nizik, or as much as the damage was belongs to the Nizik, and the whole we had talked about who could sell it and who could, according to Rabbi Kiva, the Nizik is the owner, and he's the one who could sell. He's the one who could be makdish. We did have a chiddush even according to Rabbi Kiva. If the mazik was makdish, it doesn't look good. People think that it's his, so you have to give some kind of opinion in order that it shouldn't look bad. Otherwise, it belongs to the Nizik. Tana Rabbana. So this beginning is a different subject. It's about Bava Kamma issues, but it's not about Yuchlan and Yusham. Shor Shalom Masayim Shenogach Shor Shalom Masayim. Okay, the shore that's of equal value damaged one or the other. And it wounded him 50 zuz worth. So it devalued the shore from being 200 to 150. Okay? Even after the damage was 200, went down to 150, and then the price went up, let's say, and it became worth 400.
Which one became 400?
The Nizik.
The Nizik that was 150
50
became
went up to
400.
be 400.
Okay.
If it would have been 200, it would have gone up to 800. But now that it was only 150, it went up to 400. How much was the damage? The question is how much was the damage? We're evaluating the nizik to know how much the mazik damaged. The beginning of the story was he damaged 50, but the end of the story is that he damaged him 400 indirectly. True.
But yeah,
No.
value.
If it wouldn't have that
200. Fourth. 50 of 200 is a fourth.
I'm sorry.
A fourth of 200 is 50.
What's the difference? Happens to be what's the difference?
A fourth of 800 is 200.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm not sure what math you're doing. What are we doing?
A 200 cow got damaged 50.
So it's 150,
What?
and now it's 150. Okay,
Now it's 100.
it's worth 150, and the damage was 50.
Okay.
Good. What's the next?
I want to skip to the end. If it were worth 800.
If it would not have been damaged, it would have been 800, but it was damaged, so it only went up to 400.
So when it would have been, if it was 800, when it would have been damaged, would it be damaged 50 or would it be damaged 200?
I'm not following. If the damage happened, the damage did happen.
The damage did happen. So
that
I
800
thought the
is not.
damage was a
There are
fourth of what happened.
two oxen. Highest man has two oxen. One is yes, the Nizik has two oxen. He has that one didn't get damaged, one did get damaged. Both of them with 200, and the one that didn't get damaged now is the 800. And the one that was damaged, it's only went down to 150. Now with the price went up to 400. That's the story. Now
Oh,
what?
that's the story?
Is that not the story?
I thought you said if it weren't damaged.
If it would not have been damaged, if there wouldn't have been
I
a
see,
damage.
like the one that
Thank you so much. Thank you.
the one if it wouldn't have been damaged, it was worth 400.
It would have been
800.
800, but it
now
was
the one
damaged,
that was
so
damaged, it's up to 400.
only came with 400. It went up from what it was originally. It was only 200. It went up to 400. But if it wouldn't have been damaged, it would have gone up to 800. Since it was damaged, it only went up to 400.
Okay.
How much was the damage? The Nizik comes to pay the 50. And I'm sorry, the mazik comes to
mazik
pay the 50. He looks at him, 50.
He says 50, you kidding?
You know that if he wouldn't have damaged me, it would have been worth 800, and now it's only worth 400. So you damaged me 400. So the mazik says, I only damaged the 50.
Tough. The Misa was 50.
The mice was only 50.
That's
That's our groma. You call it a groma. I indirectly caused that it shouldn't get worth more, but I don't have to pay for that. I'm sorry. But I only have to pay for what I damaged. I damaged 50. And also Hatinezek 25. You know, that's also happens to be 25 months. So that's the story. 200 shor was worth 200 damage, and 200 shor, and it made it 50 less. But then the prices went up, and 150 became worth 400. If it wouldn't have been damaged, it would have been worth 800. How much did you pay? Kishas and Nezek. You look according to the Nezek, not according to what happened. And that was that it was only a 50 damage, and Hatin Nezek is 25. Okay, how about Kichesh? How about if the 150, the damage was Kishas Ma'isa went down from 200 to 150, but then it continued deteriorating, and it became worth less than 150. And by the time they come to the Din Torah, yeah, it became weaker, leaner. And now they come to the Din Torah, it's already worth, 100 only. And the Nizik says it was 200 and now it's only 100. And the Mazik says that's only now, but at the Din Torah, at the time of the Hazik, it only went down 50. What do you say here? How much is the damage?
50. The same thing. The Shasa music.
Here it says not. Here it says Kshasa Mother B'Din.
What happened to Sheva?
Where are you holding? I just highlighted over here.
The Shas.
Mother B'Din, period.
Uh-huh.
That's all it says. Kichesh Kshasa Mother B'Din. Make some periods over here.
Oh, that means
Mother B'Din is not Nezek. Again, 1 second.
means what?
Mother B'Din means by the Din Torah.
We stand him by the Din Torah.
No, what do you mean we stand him? He pays. Kichesh. Mother B'Din means standing in trial. Standing in court. At the time of standing in trial.
What?
The price. How much it's worth at the price. But look at the shor now. It's only worth 100. The time of there was a Shas HaNezek and there's a Shas HaMother B'Din.
How much was it worth?
Originally it was worth 200.
200 and damaged 50.
And now 50.
But now it's worth 100. So we say he damaged 100.
Right. And you would say a second ago, Shas HaNezek.
Why not keep?
Right. So that's what we'll talk about. Next case. Shabach Mazik. Now, till now, it doesn't do with us. Till now, till now, it's not do with our sugis. We're talking about Yuchlat, Yusham. That's all questions about how much a Mazik is worth, how much who the Mazik belongs to. But the beginning of this brisa is talking about how much the damage is worth. How much was the damage? So far, it didn't have relevance to our previous sugya. But now, it does have relevance to our previous sugya because it talks about Shabach Mazik.
This would be
right. The Gufa. And now we don't know how much was the Mazik. The Mazik was 200. If the Mazik was 200, then you're not going to have to pay more than 200. But what if the Mazik became worth more? Does he have rights to that Mazik?
No, saying Lokashas and Nezek, it doesn't matter. No, that's a Nazak. So if he damaged 400, it was only worth 200. He only pays 200, even if it went up to 400. That what it's saying?
Again,
the Mazi.
We know already how much the damage was. Now the question is how much you could collect from. The mazik is going to, the issue of how much the mazik is worth is only relevant to how much you're going to collect from. How much can you collect from?
Don't we need a case where he damaged more than he's worth? That's what we're talking about.
And right. So if he damaged
more than he's worth 200 and he damaged 300.
Until now, there wasn't enough to pay. Maximum you're going to get is 200. Yeah. But now it's worth more. So maybe the nizik has the right to get paid from that. Not the case?
Let's say the Mazik show is worth 200.
Right.
He said, I'm supposed to get 100. I'm the Nizik.
Right.
Now it goes up to 400. So do I have half of that shore? I now also got gain?
If you hold Yuchla, if you hold Yuchla Ashor, if you hold that automatically, but Shasta Nezek, the amount of damage, the value of the damage automatically the Nizik gets rights to, like Rabbi Kiva, like Paskin. So now he made a good investment. Now that the Nizik has a chelik in the shore and it goes up, so my shore also went up. Talk about the same case that he had $50 worth. So the Nizik has, I have, let's say Chazi Nezek, whatever, 25. I own part of that shore now. Even if anything happens,
I own
part of that shore, and then the price goes up. So he's very happy. Oh, wow, I'm happy that I got damaged because now I have a chelik in your big shore, and your big shore became worth now triple the price. So my chelik is also worth more. So that's what it says. No, no, kishas and nezek. No, you don't do
Only
that.
Kishas and Nezek.
So we'll say that's Yusham Ashor maybe.
So in appreciation,
It's gonna be
no,
the steer. It's gonna be the steer.
Thank
so
you.
in appreciation, he only goes according to the time of the
That's a
message.
steer.
And the question is
And
why?
in depreciation, he
So-
gets it in
so
the time
far-
of the.
You're on the next one. I didn't do that yet.
But you said it
Kichesh.
already.
I didn't say that. Now
No,
I'm
it's
saying
not like
now.
Rabbi Akiva.
Kichesh. If the mazik went down, so now the mazik tells the nizik a
You
second
have also got it.
that you have also. 1 second. What did I say in the beginning? Shabbat mazik. Why do we say that you don't have a chelik in it? So now
You
who's
can say that you have the chelik, because it says Kishas and
Ah.
Nezek.
okay?
That's
So
terrible.
and right, that's the kasha. So again, just I have to go slow for myself. That the nizik. That's like Shas and Nezek, and he didn't get the improvement. But now, if it goes down, so the Nizik is happy, and he says, "You want to give me Kishas and Nezek? So give me Kishas and Nezek." No, Kishas and Badabedin. That the Nizik is going to lose out, and we say that now it's worth less. So you get less. You are. It seems to say that the amount that you had deteriorated, so it's your loss.
So it seems like the one that got damaged is gonna lose.
Either way.
Right. So the question is this contradiction. The first part of Los Kishas and Nezek sounds
Like a Bishmal.
like a Bishmal that the Nizik doesn't have a chelik in the shore mazik. And the second part that says kichesh kishas bedin, it sounds like he does have a chelik in the shore mazik. That's going to be the contradiction, and that's what the Gemara dumps him right away. The Gemara doesn't talk about the beginning of the brisa that we talked about, how much was the damage worth. But then the Gemara goes into this part, and Amamar shavach mazik nosin kishas nezek that goes according to Bishmal that he doesn't have a chelik in the shore. Dama bal chol who was the mazik lay that he only owes the money. But he doesn't have a chelik in the shore, and that's why he doesn't gain on the appreciation of the shore. Amazik. He must say for the next words, how come he loses? Because his chelik in the shore went down. So can you say such a thing? Say for Rabbi Kiva, these words, one from the next. If this part is Rabbi Shmuel and this part is Rabbi Kiva, doesn't make sense. The Gemara answers, "Lo, you don't have to say that." Kul Rabbi Kiva, the whole Bryce is Rabbi Kiva, and he does have a chelik in the shore.
And therefore, when it goes down,
He goes
everyone
down.
understands why it's a Shas and Bedin, because you lose.
But how come he doesn't go up? When he gets worth more, why doesn't he get more?
Yeah.
It didn't get, when I said the price, I said, why did it get worth more? Because the price went up or something like that. No, in that price case, you'd be right. That if it goes according to Rabbi Kiva, then the price went up, he would get more. What's the case that he doesn't get more because of the appreciation? Because it was pitmo, because the owner, not he got fat. He fattened it. Pitmo, he fattened it. The mazik invested money, got good oats, good barley to give him, and he gave him extra meal that he should be able to become fat. So the price didn't go up. It went up only because he made it worth more because he invested in it.
So only gets what the value was at the time.
Right. He doesn't have a chelik in that appreciation. The question might be why not? That it's my shore that you fatten my shore. What's the luck if you fatten my shore?
Because it's his investment.
You invested in my shore. If I have a shore and you give it good food and it got fat.
No, but he's going to get it because he's good. He's going to raise him a nizak. He gets that. He's going to get that shore. It's going to belong to him.
He got a quarter of the shore.
Quarter of the shore.
And the so the mazik invested in my shore. So do I not? Why do I get it right? So that might be a kasha.
It didn't gain more than
it didn't gain more. That it didn't gain more. If it would have gained more than the investment, then he would have rights to it. If you come and invest in my shore, I didn't ask you to. You come and you make investment in my shore, you give it a lot of good food, and then you want to come and get some of the money. So I could get money for it because it's my shore, but only if your investment proved profitable. What?
How can you have it both with, what does it mean that it got improved? That it has more muscle?
No, improved more than the investment. If you got, did it get more improved than the investment? I have a field, then you put fertilizer into my field. So if you put in $10 in fertilizer and it came worth $50, so then I have a right to ask for the proof because it's my field. You get back your $10 for the fertilizer. I give you $10 for the fertilizer, but whatever is worth more than that goes to me. That could be. But if it didn't get worth more than $10, so I can't ask you. I don't have a right to any of that. You get back your investment. You shouldn't have come to my field to put in fertilizer. You did.
So it said, oh, you mean it would only appreciated the amount that he put in.
Right. So then he gets his appreciation back because he put it in. But economically, it would have been more than that. Than the Bala Shah would have rights to it because
Then he would get it.
Right. That Tosha says. But that's a side point. The Gemara doesn't talk about it. The Gemara says the reason why the Nizik, even according to Akiva, doesn't get the appreciation of the Shah is because the Mazik appreciated it and he put in the investment. But the Gemara's a problem then with the ratio. If the case of all the Shabbat here is not that.
If it's just a market thing where let's say there's a shortage of beef, so the market goes up, then it's back to the original, right?
Right, correct. Then the Nizik will say that my meat went up. The price of my meat went up. I had a chelik in the shore because Yuchla Shore becomes mine, and now the price went up. So my price went up, and he would get it. The only time he doesn't get it is because the mazik is the one who invested the money, and it didn't get worth more than that investment, so he has the right to get back his investment. The one says that that's the case of all the shabbat over here. So the ratio is also talking about that nizik appreciated. It says over there, shabbat lamad al dalid me'ezuz no san lo kishas nezik. Over there it said that if the time of the damage there was a $50 loss, 50 zuz loss, and then it got worth more to 400, and the point over there was that he only gets his 50, and he doesn't have a right to say that he damaged me very much because it would have been worth 800, that's only worth 400, so he did me a big damage. You can't say that. And the question is, if it would appreciate it because of the market value, then there's some chiddush that Nizik doesn't get, even though he was damaged. No, if he wouldn't have put in an investment, if he would have been, the market value went up, then there's a chiddush to tell the Nizik you don't have rights to demand that appreciation because at the time of the Nizik it only was $50.
But if he's the one that did it,
then it's not. Then it's pashut. He made it worth 400, and then you want, and he put in $400 worth. Then you want to get his $400. Right, it wouldn't be a chiddush. Would it be a chiddush at all? Papa, you're right. That over there, the chiddush is only if it happened by itself. The ratio that you just mentioned about the nizik getting worth more. So the case with the halacha will be true both cases. But one is a chiddush, one is not a chiddush. The chiddush will only be in the case where the price went up. You're right. The chiddush is only there in the case where the price went up by itself. It wouldn't be a chiddush if the price went up because he patented it. And the sefer, they're only talking about, which is a little dochak, sefer la mishkachas la ela k'shepitmo. But the sefer is true only if he patented it. If price would have gone up, then the nizik taka would have had a chelik in the appreciation because it's part of his shore. He was part of the shore got appreciated. Not a couple of lines. Kichesh kishasa madabedin. Oh, this was the last thing we learned, that if the shore deteriorated from the time of the Nezek until madabedin, so how much is the Nezek we're talking about? We're talking about the Nezek, right? This is which one was Kichesh?
Yeah, not like
the Nezek. Right, up. Kichesh, that's the Nezek?
No.
That's the Mazik. No, this one over here. This one. This is what we're talking about now. That's going on the Nizik. The Nizik, how much is the damage worth? According to the devaluation.
It went down more.
50, and then it went down more. So he says that damage is according to Machasam of the Bidin. And the question is why? How come it got deteriorated? Because the Nizik used it. He got the shore worth, it was 200. Now it got damaged worth 150. Then he started working with it, and he got worth less. So he says, you you're gonna make it worth less and I'm gonna have to pay for it, means who told you to make it worth less? And Ravashi, the kichesh machmas makkah, and we didn't do anything. Just the makkah had a lasting effect. It was deteriorating because of the makkah. Damalei, because the nizik told to the mazik, kind of the Torah kvira bay, the horn. Yes.
Can you do it again from the email?
If the reason why it got worth less is because the nizik was working with it,
Yeah.
let the mazik tell him, you're going to weaken it and I'm going to pay for it. Why should I pay for it? You're the one who's damaging it more. You should have let it rest, whatever. Amar Ravashi, the kachesh machmas makkah, that it got weaker because of the original makkah, that he gored him and it went down from 200 to 150, and then he took him home and he's resting, but it got worth 125.
It's the same answer as the guy who fattened it up on the other side. He fattened it up and he put investment in, but didn't get more than that. And here he worked him and didn't get any less than what it had done.
No, but no, I think it's a little different. Here there's a chiddush that when there was the initial goring caused it to be deteriorated, but that goring has a deteriorating effect. That 2 days later it gets weaker, 3 days later it gets weaker. It's as if the horn is still being mazik. You're talking about if he would have worked. You're talking about this part, the kirchesh machmas malacha. But then when it says, what is it talking about? That the horn is figuratively still goring. It's continuously goring. We have that, right? We have sicknesses. Right, then that Gemara says you know. See, explain that part. That part I don't have to pay for. I don't have to pay for the fact that you're making it worth less. That part you're right. I don't not argue on you.
Yeah.
But the Gemara says, what is the case? That's not the case. In this case, the mazik wouldn't have to pay for that. But here it says in the Brisa that the mazik does have to pay for the deterioration.
Oh.
So you're right, but that's
here it was because
why does it pay for deterioration? Because it was not the mazik who caused deterioration. It was not the nizik who caused it by working with it. It was the mazik who caused it because of the original makkah. Kind of the Torah, the horn of your ox is still buried in it. It's still burrowing into it. It's still being mazik. The horn of your ox is buried in it, and still goring. Kavira, kavor, buried.
Meaning it's still doing damage.
Right.
Very good.
What do we have? Yuchla Ashor, Yusham Ashor, Bepaskin Yuchla Ashor, like a Bakiva, that automatically belongs to the nizik. The value of how much it was what as far as this point, if it got worth more than the market value, so the nizik is going to gain. If it goes down, it's going to lose.
Because the guy fattened up.
Right.
And when it got less, we said he's only took the less. That's because it was caused by the.
So that's going back to the first case. In this case, going so far as by Yuchla Ashor. If he does talk about the subject of Yuchla Ashor, so then the issue would be of the mazik's appreciation or depreciation. If you hold Yuchla Ashor, so we have to take the amount of how much the nizik now owns in the shore, and if the shore goes up or down, it's his loss or gain. Yashikol Chacham.
I saw a sign yesterday. I'm not a